Welcome to our in-depth technical analysis of BIAF. Today we're diving into the recent price action, indicator signals, and what they might mean for investors. BIAF has been on a wild ride lately, showing a neutral signal with low confidence. Out of 9 key indicators, 3 are flashing buy, 2 are signaling sell, and the rest remain neutral. This mix reflects the uncertainty in the market, especially after the stock's dramatic swings over the past few months. Let's break down the details and see what's driving this volatility. BIAF's price journey has been nothing short of dramatic. Starting at around 8.47 in late June, the stock soared to a peak of 13.5 by mid-September. However, this rally was short-lived, as prices plummeted to a low of 3.41 before rebounding to the current level of 5.29. Such extreme volatility can be both an opportunity and a risk for traders. The recent sharp movements highlight just how quickly sentiment can change in this stock, making it essential to stay alert and informed. On the most recent trading day, BIAF experienced a significant price jump, moving from 3.41 up to 5.29. What's even more notable is the trading volume. Over 99 million shares changed hands, a clear sign of heightened interest and activity. This surge in volume often points to strong buying pressure and can sometimes mark the beginning of a new trend. However, with conflicting signals from other indicators, it's important to interpret this move with caution. Looking closer at the volume profile, we see that the highest trading activity occurred between 5.25 and 5.3. This price zone is now a significant area of interest for both buyers and sellers. The on-balance volume (OBV) indicator, currently at 129 million, suggests accumulation, meaning more investors are buying than selling. This accumulation phase could provide a foundation for future price moves, but it's important to watch how the stock behaves around this key level. Short-term moving averages are currently supporting the bullish momentum. The 5-day simple moving average (SMA) sits at 4.61, and the 5-day exponential moving average (EMA) is at 4.78, both below the current price. This setup often signals that buyers are in control in the short run. However, it's crucial to remember that short-term trends can reverse quickly, especially in a volatile environment like this. We shift our focus to the medium-term moving averages, the picture changes. The 20-day SMA is at 6.56 and the 20-day EMA is at 6.18, both above the current price. This suggests that, despite the recent bounce, the stock remains in a medium-term downtrend. It's a classic case of short-term optimism clashing with longer-term caution, which is why the overall signal remains neutral. Looking even further out, the long-term moving averages are well above the current price. The 200-day SMA stands at 13.9 and the 200-day EMA is at 14.11. This wide gap underscores the stock's longer-term bearish trend, despite the recent short-term rally. For investors with a longer horizon, this is a signal to remain cautious and not get swept up by short-term excitement. Trend indicators are giving mixed signals. The average directional index, ADX, is at 14.19, which points to a weak trend overall. The plus DI at 37.29 and minus DI at 27.02 suggest a slight bullish bias, but not enough to confirm a strong uptrend. These readings reinforce the idea that BIAF is in a state of flux, with no clear direction dominating the market right now. Arun indicators are currently bearish. Arun up is at 64, while Arun down is at 96. This combination typically signals that downward momentum is dominating, even if there are occasional bullish bursts. It's another piece of evidence that, despite some positive signs, the overall trend remains uncertain and potentially negative. Momentum indicators are leaning slightly bearish. The Relative Strength Index, RSI, is at 42.95, which is below the neutral 50 mark. The MACD is negative at minus 0.93 with a bearish histogram, and the momentum indicator itself is showing a sell signal. These readings suggest that, while there's been a recent bounce, the underlying momentum is still weak. Volatility remains a defining feature for BIAF. The Bollinger Bands are wide, with the upper band at 9.82, the middle at 6.56, and the lower at 3.3. The average true range ATR is at 1.29, confirming that price swings are large and frequent. High volatility can create opportunities for traders, but it also increases risk, so it's important to manage positions carefully. Volume indicators are confirming the recent accumulation phase. The on-balance volume (OBV) is rising, which typically means that more investors are buying than selling. This is a positive sign for the short term, but as always, it's important to see if this trend continues or if selling pressure returns. Linear regression analysis paints a cautious picture. The slope is negative at minus 0.07, indicating a downward trend. The R-squared value is 0.58, which means there's a moderate correlation between price and the regression line. The predicted value is 5.99, but the current price is only 5.29, showing the stock is underperforming relative to the trend. The deviation percent, reinforcing the idea that BIAF is lagging behind expectations. Based on the current technical setup, the opening price for the next trading day is expected to be in the range of 5.2 to 5.4. This forecast is driven by the recent bullish momentum, but it's important to note that the prediction comes with high uncertainty due to the conflicting signals and ongoing volatility. Traders should be prepared for rapid changes and have a plan in place. Resistance levels are crucial for understanding where the stock might face selling pressure. The first resistance is at 6.56, which aligns with the middle Bollinger Band and the 20-day SMA. The next levels are at 7.83 and 9.2, corresponding to key Fibonacci retracement points. These levels could act as barriers if the stock continues its upward move. On the downside, support levels help identify where buyers might step in. The first support is at 3.3, which matches the lower Bollinger Band. Additional support is found at 3.4, the recent low, and at 2, a psychological level. These zones could provide a safety net if the stock faces renewed selling pressure. Current price of 5.29 is above the short-term moving averages but still below the medium and long-term averages. This setup indicates a short-term bullish move within a broader bearish trend. It's a classic scenario where short-term traders might find opportunities, but longer-term investors should remain cautious. Given the ATR value of 1.29, the potential high for the next day could reach 6.58, while the potential low could drop to 4. This wide range highlights just how volatile BIAF is right now. Traders should be prepared for significant price swings and adjust their strategies accordingly. In a bullish scenario, if the recent momentum continues, BIAF could move towards the 6.56 resistance level. This would require sustained buying interest and a break above the current consolidation zone. However, traders should watch for signs of exhaustion or reversal, as the stock has a history of sharp pullbacks. In a neutral scenario, BIAF could consolidate around current levels, trading between 4.8 and 5.8. This range-bound movement would allow the stock to digest recent gains and losses, giving the market time to decide on its next direction. Such consolidation often precedes a larger move, so it's important to monitor for any breakout signals. If BIAF fails to hold above the 4.5 level, a bearish scenario could unfold, with the stock potentially retracing towards the 3.3 support. Conflicting trend indicators and high volatility make this a real possibility. Traders should have risk management strategies in place to protect against sharp declines. Sum up, BIAF is currently sending a neutral signal with low confidence. The stock's extreme volatility and mixed technical indicators make it a challenging environment for both traders and investors. For those already holding the stock, the best approach may be to wait for more stability and clearer signals. New investors should exercise caution and consider waiting for a more defined trend before entering a position.